Vidhi Kalra and welcome back to my channel 5-Minute Economics, where I teach economic concepts in a span of just 5 minutes. The topic for today is Harrod-Domar Model of growth, and in this video I'll be talking about types of growth, the assumptions, significance as well as the objectives of the model, and a little about the criticisms. So yeah, let's get started. So firstly, coming to the background and the introduction of the Harrod-Domar model. The Harrod-Domar model is a Keynesian model of economic growth. It explains economy's growth in terms of level of savings and capital. It was developed by Roy Harrod in 1939 and Harrod-Domar in 1946, and later on was combined and known as the Harrod-Domar model. It explains three types of growth. So firstly, coming to warranted growth, which is represented by GW. Here all resources are fully utilized. This is also known as the full employment rate of growth, and all savings are used and converted in capital. Secondly, coming to the actual growth rate, it is the real rate increase in a country's GDP per year. So, whether to find that there is growth or no growth in the economy, we use the actual growth rate, and it is represented by just G. Lastly, coming to the natural growth rate, it is the growth an economy requires to maintain full employment. It is represented by GN. So basically, when the labor force, it grows by 5%, and to maintain full employment, we will also, improve the growth by 5%. That is the natural growth rate should also improve by 5%. So this is all about the Harrod-Domar model. So coming to the assumptions of the model, firstly, there should be full employment. Secondly, the economy is a closed one, that there is no trade happening in the economy. Thirdly, the intended investment is equal to the real investment. That is what the planned investment is equal to the real or the actual investment. Next, there shouldn't be any depreciation of capital. The savings and the investment are equal. And lastly, there is no change in the interest rate. So moving ahead, we notice that to achieve steady growth, we should have G should be equal to GW, that is the actual growth should be equal to the warranted growth, and C should be equal to CR, that is the capital output ratio needed to get G should be equal to the capital output ratio needed to maintain GW. But this is something very rare in a free enterprise economy, and usually what happens is sometimes G exceeds GW, and in that case we have inflation. In this situation, the demand exceeds the supply. We also notice over here that at this point the actual capital falls short of the required capital, and hence we have inflation. The second thing which can happen is that sometimes GW exceeds G. In this case we have deflation because there is deficiency of demand, and we also notice over here that the actual capital is larger than the required capital, and thus deflation occurs. So basically, the slight deviation of G from GW leads to further and further from the steady state of growth, and hence this is also known as the knife edge equilibrium. So moving ahead, we notice that in developing countries, low rate of economic growth is directly linked to low rate of savings, which leads us to a vicious circle of low investment, low output and low savings. So basically, to boost economic growth in a country, we need to boost savings. So we see over here that increased savings leads to increased investment, which further leads us to higher capital stock, further leading us to the higher economic growth, which also again leads to increased savings. So this is in short all about the HD model. So there are a lot of criticisms regarding the Harrod-Domar model, but I'll be just talking about few of them. So we see that it has very unreal assumptions. Secondly, the model ignores labor productivity, technical innovation as well as structural changes. Next, we see it assures existence of reliable finance and transport system. But in fact, developing countries don't have it, they lack in it, which leads to a lack in investment. Next, interest rate is definitely not constant. We also notice that it is difficult to influence saving levels in a developing economy due to the widespread poverty. And lastly, it ignores the effect of government policies on growth. So this is all about the Harrod-Domar model, guys. I hope this video was useful to you. Please do like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video pretty soon, which is in 2021. Thank you.